So we light a candle first in honor of Judaism. We shall beat our swords into plowshares and our spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. But we shall every one sit under our vine and under our fig tree, and none shall make us afraid. We light the next candle in honor of Confucianism. The ancients who wished to illustrate illustrious virtue throughout their kingdom first ordered well their own states. Wishing to order well their states, they first regulated their families. Wishing to regulate their families, they first cultivated their persons. Wishing to cultivate their persons, they first rectified their hearts. Wishing to rectify their hearts, they first sought to be sincere in their thoughts. We light this candle in honor of Buddhism. When we realize that the world is a mutual, interdependent, cooperative enterprise, that human beings are all mutual friends in the process of birth, suffering, old age, and death, then we can build a noble, even a heavenly environment. We light this candle in honor of Islam. Cloak yourself in 1,000 ways, and still I shall know you, my beloved. Veil yourself with every enchantment, and yet I shall feel your presence, most dear, close, and intimate. I find your face in ivy that climbs, in clusters of grapes, in morning sun on the mountains, and in the clear arch of the sky. You gladden the whole earth and make every heart great. You are the breathing of the world. We light this candle in honor of Christianity. This is the message that ye have heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. Let us love not only in word, nor in tongue, but in deed and in truth. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear. We light this candle in honor of Taoism. Returning to the source is serenity. If you don't realize the source, you stumble in confusion and sorrow. When you realize where you come from, you naturally become tolerant, disinterested, amused, kind-hearted as a grandmother, dignified as a king. We light the final candle in honor of the first people. O Great Spirit, whose voice I hear in the winds, I ask for wisdom and strength, not to be superior to my brothers, but to be able to fight my greatest enemy, myself. Make my hands respect the things you have made, and make my ears sharp, so I may hear your voice.
The reading today, Choosing You is a Spiritual Practice by Ernest Holmes. Let us light the candle of love, human kindness, forgiveness, and understanding in our own soul, and let it shine brightly. Let us not peer into the darkness, troubled and concerned, because it is so foreboding and unknown. Rather, let us remain steadfast in the radiance of the spiritual light of truth within ourselves. Let us so live each day that the light from our candle of spiritual knowledge will forever be clear and understood, not only by ourselves, but by with whom we came in contact. So if you can just now take these words into that spiritual space within your own soul for a few minutes. So how good it is to know that we are absolutely here in this divine unfoldment of God, that God is the only power in this universe, is a power for good, is a power that anchors us in every phase of our life in this moment. There is no way to ever be separate from this beautiful divine power that is anchored down to the core of our soul. It is interwoven throughout our whole entire being. And so I know that in that place of the Most High, that we are absolutely here in this ordained place, right here and right now. And so I know that the service is in divine order and divine right action. I know that the music ministry is perfectly being sung and played as the children's church, and every single person here is absolutely here by that divine appointment. And so I know that all is well, and it is complete, and it is done. And together we say, and so it is. So today we are delighted to have our special guest speaker, Reverend Cynthia James. Reverend Cynthia is truly a specialist at transformation and one of today's best loved inspirational leaders. She has written 3 books and is an acclaimed speaker, coach, and singer. She lives in the mountains of Colorado and is here to open us to new ways of caring for and loving ourselves. Please help me welcome Reverend Cynthia James.
Good morning. Am I on? No.
Not yet.
Is it green?
No.
Here. Yeah.
Good way to start, huh?
There you are.
Ta-da! Okay. Good morning. I used to make my living as a singer. You'd think I know how to turn on a mic, huh? Okay. I'm really grateful to be here. Cece, thank you. I'm very clear that when somebody invites you to be on their pulpit, it's an invitation that says, I trust you with my family. So I'm very grateful to be here. And ladies that were with us yesterday for the I Choose Me workshop, thank you so much. You rock. Yeah. It was incredible. And so what we're doing today is I'm going to talk to you about choice. You know, the book I just wrote is I Choose Me, and I wrote it for women, and we had an incredible time. I'm actually on a book tour right now going around the country to talk about why it's important for us to choose ourselves and put ourselves first. But I want to tell you today that choosing you really is a spiritual practice. That you are magnificent. You are divine. You are powerful. You are glorious. You are an original imprint in the universe. Only you can do what you came here to do the way you came here to do it. And sometimes we forget because we're brought up in interesting experiences and familial patterns. We forget because we've had life experiences that have challenged us. But the truth is that at the essence, the core of who we are, that essence always knows who we are and who we've come here to be. And how many of you have a spiritual practice? And how many of you are 100% committed and consistent? 5. Okay. I'm talking to the ones that aren't the 5. So what I want you to know is that most of us come to Science of Mind because we're looking for peace. We're looking to transition out of some old way of being and step into another way. And the thing is that we come in and the principles ignite us and these light bulbs go off and we're so excited. But what happens is the old patterns kind of come in, and so instead of moving into freedom from discord, sometimes we create more discord. So let me tell you about the C-O-R in the word discord. It connects to the French meaning heart. So when you are in discord, you are disconnected from your heart. And a lot of people say, you know, my heart feels broken, or my heart aches, or there's a constriction here, because some part of you has forgotten who you are and stepped off that path of enlightenment and peace and joy. The thing is that you are here to be connected. there's a company called Heart Math that talks about the heart. It's done enormous research. And it says that to be in coherence with the heart means that you are in coherence with a divine intelligence that's really powerful, that actually informs the brain, not the other way around. And so to be in connection and coherence with your heart, you get to listen in a whole different way, and it connects to your intuition. And we all have fabulous intuition, we just don't always know how to listen to it. I want you to know that spiritual practice leads you to spiritual maturity. A lot of times, we're in judgment. We say, how can this person be on the spiritual path when that just rolled out their lips? How can that person be on the spiritual path when they just had that behavior? And I'm going to tell you how. It's called repetition practice. We know this by advertising because we've seen it our whole lives. So I'm going to sing this thing to you, and if you recognize it, put your hand up. I'm a pepper, she's a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper too, right? Winston tastes good like a cigarette. Aha! Right? And there's a bunch of those. The thing is that you hear it enough and then you see visuals enough, it's in your consciousness. You don't even smoke and you're singing Winston takes good like a cigarette should, right? But what I want you to know is the same thing happens in our lives. A lot of times, I coach a lot of people all over the world, and what they say to me is, I don't know why I've done all this work. I've come to all these workshops. I've taken all these classes. I've worked with a therapist, and I'm still repeating the same old behaviors. Anybody here know what I'm talking about? Yes, right? And it's because there's a repetition pattern that is already in flow. That our brains are pattern makers. And so the more you experience them, if someone tells you you are worthless, you're not smart, you're not enough, or you get beat up and not connected with enough, that pattern starts to run itself. And so the spiritual practice starts to absolutely disconnect those seeds that have been planted and plant new ones. So why wouldn't you want to do that all the time? Because that old pattern is running. And you bought into it even though intellectually you know it doesn't support you. I want you to know that I get this because I came from a very violent childhood. I came from a father who was an alcoholic and showed up periodically, and his love language was giving you gifts, but then he'd go on a bender and we wouldn't see him for a long time. My mother was this beautiful, brilliant woman who could come from 4 generations of abuse and trauma. And so she didn't have any concept of self-care and taking care of herself. All she wanted to do was get away from her mother. So any man that came along that told her that he was going to save her, she wanted to go. So she married my stepfather, who beat her, even when she was 7 months pregnant with my brother, and who sexually molested me. So I thought that the norm was chaos. I thought that the norm was out of control behavior. So I kept recreating it. I want y'all to know I kissed a lot of frogs thinking they were princes. So I want to tell you what Ernest Holmes says. He says, we have within us a power that is greater than anything we shall ever contact in the outer. A power that can overcome every obstacle in our life and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed and prosperous in a new light and in a new life. So what I want you to know is that your history is not your final blueprint. We all come in, with things encoded, because anything that's happened to us, from our ancestry and in our life gets encoded in the body someplace. But it can be shifted. It can be changed. So I was an associate minister at Mile High Church in Dayton for 11 years, and now I'm in special ministry there. And we had outgrown our sanctuary, and people were sitting in the lobby, and the fire department was showing up, and so we had to build a new one, right? And so we got an architect, and one of our ministers had been an architect, and we created this beautiful blueprint for our new building. Roger, who's the senior minister and has an extraordinary spiritual practice, comes into a minister meeting one day. He goes, "We're not supposed to build that building. We're supposed to build a dome." And we all look at him like, "Are you kidding me?" We're like, down the road, right? He says, "Listen, it just keeps coming." And then he remembered that 10 years before, somebody who had been on staff said you should build a dome. So he starts sharing with us what had been coming through, and everybody got it. We needed to build a dome. So we scrapped that original blueprint and created a new one. If you go to Denver today, to Mile High, it's a dome. And so what I want you to know is that your original blueprint is nothing but something that happened. So it happened to you. I love that we got in the bookstore yesterday. It said, Carl Jung said, "It's not what happened to you, it's what you want to become." So what do you want to become? So let me just read to you what Alan Cohen and Rumi said. Alan Cohen said, "Scared and sacred are spelled with the same letters. Awful proceeds from the same root word as awesome. Terrify and terrific. Every negative experience holds the seeds of transformation." Rumi says, "Sorrow prepares you for joy. It violently sweeps away everything out of your house so that the new joy can find space to enter. It shakes the yellow leaves from the bough of your heart so that fresh green leaves can grow in their place. It pulls up the rotten roots so that the new roots hidden beneath have room to grow. Whatever sorrow shakes from your heart, far better things will take their place." The fact that I'm standing up here is a miraculous unfolding. Most of the people that I grew up with went to jail, had drug issues, had multiple children out of wedlock, and are still in the same patterns. So why am I here? I wouldn't want to wish anything on a child that I went through, but I know that it was all leading me to my divine destiny. And also, it's because I decided to change my thinking and really change my life. And I'd love to tell you that it was miraculous, and I just said Om, and God dropped in, and it was all good. But that's not the case. The truth is that it took a lot of energy, and it took a lot of showing up and re-showing up and shifting my consciousness and having practitioners that were extraordinary, that would not co-sign my stuff. I remember knowing that I wanted to get married to a centered, anchored person. And I was going to this practitioner, and he said, let me show you something. So he draws all these little circles, and in the middle he draws another little circle, and then out here he draws a circle. He said, in the middle of the circle, that's you. All those circles around you are those knuckleheads you keep trying to make the one. The one for you is waiting for you to get your act together and become spiritually mature. Well, that took a long time, but I found him. We've been together 21 years. And I know he is a manifestation of my shift in consciousness. Because nothing in him would ever be abusive. Nothing in him would ever be unkind. Nothing in him would ever want me to be less than I came here to be. And that's because I decided to choose me. I decided to learn to take care of myself. I decided to learn to honor myself. I told the ladies yesterday I'm about 30 pounds lighter than I was 5 years ago. Because I was on the way down the path of my family, who left the planet obese and depressed and ill. And it wasn't because my life wasn't working. I mean, I had manifested a good life, but those old patterns were running. And so I had to create what I call the cleanse and clear plan. If you go to my website, it's there. You can download it for free. It's the plan I went to, because it wasn't just about eating differently. It was about changing my workout. It was about changing the people and the vibration around me. It was about amplifying my spiritual practice. When you are in crisis, do more spiritual practice, not less. That's what we do. A lot of times we go through stuff and we stop coming to our spiritual community because we don't want people to know. We don't tell people to pray for us because we don't want people to think our consciousness is askew. The truth is, you need more love, more support, more diving into your oneness with the infinite than ever before to expand your container. And so that's what I did. I took a sabbatical because my adrenals were crazy, and I meditated. So today, I don't leave my house without an hour and a half of spiritual practice. I don't care what else is happening. If I have to get up a half an hour earlier, so be it. What I want you to know is you have a still small voice, but the thing is, it's still and small. You have to access it. You have to get still and listen and learn to listen. Not only to the spiritual voice that is talking to you, but the physiology. There's stuff encoded in here that wants to talk to you, that wants to tell you how to heal. It tells you when stuff is happening. You know, how many mothers do I have in here? Yes? How many of you know when something's happening to your kids before they even call you? Right? That's because it's encoded. That's because there's divine connection. So I want you to know that you are a divine creator. This is why you're here. You are not here to complain. You are not here to struggle. You are not here to suffer. You are not here to have the blind leading the blind. You are here to be love. You are here to be strong. You are here to be clear. You are here to wake up and to stay awake. You are here to bring your light and do what you came to do, because there are people waiting for you, and you're fitzing around. Fitzing is a spiritual term. Your fitzing around does not support you in delivering the message you came to deliver. And make no mistake about it, you have a message. You come here to deliver it, and you know, your playing small serves nobody. Your hiding serves nobody. Your giving yourself reasons why you shouldn't take care of yourself, you know, is a hindrance to who needs you. You are touching the lives of hundreds of thousands of people, and you don't even know it. You don't even know the impact you have just by showing up as a place of consciousness and love. So what's important is that you remember why you're here, and activate that co-creator within you. I train coaches in my work. I do emotional integration work, and so I have a coach, and when she first came, when I first met her, she invited me to come to the mountains of Colorado and do a workshop for women. And I was all excited because she was all excited to be in this community. And I could see in her instantly how fabulous she was. And I said, you know, have you thought about becoming a coach? Because she was already coaching and counseling people. She goes, oh, no, that's, you know, I'm a biker. I said, that's nice. You can't be a biker and a coach. So she comes to my What Will Set You Free workshop, and then she decides, oh, I am supposed to be a coach. And so she comes in, and she goes into the program, and oh my goodness, she hit every wall known to man. You know, we bumped heads, because I would say, no, I'm not accepting that. You're more than that. And so today, this woman has a hugely successful coachful business. She just did her first ADV women's biker conference, where women from all over the country rode their bikes to Colorado. Awesome. She is working with people because she is a lesbian woman, and she got abused and traumatized. There was a bunch of stuff that happened. So she's coaching women, you know, who are straight and lesbian, to understand that the power lives within them. She has taken her past, moved into co-creation with her divinity, and moved it into form. I want you to know you can do the same thing. How many of you in this moment absolutely know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're being called to do more than you're doing at this moment? Yeah? Good. Let's do a little practice, shall we? So what I want you to do first and foremost is uncross your legs, uncross your arms. I just want you to know body language is interesting. This is, even though we are not conscious of it, these are kind of forms of protection. So we're going to open, and we're going to have your back be straight on your chair. And I'm just going to invite you to breathe. I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes if you feel comfortable and connect to your heart. Heart math says that heart-focused breathing is transformative. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to breathe into the count of 6 into your heart. And exhale, count of 6. And breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And continue to breathe. And as you do, let's create a field of blessings and gratitude. Because the fact that you're on this planet is a blessing. The fact that you woke up today and can breathe is a blessing. The fact that you have food to eat and a home to live in is a blessing. The fact that you have this community is a blessing. And so I want you to just breathe in your blessings. You can see, you can think. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. You have hands and you have feet. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I'm so grateful. I am so blessed. So in this moment, we breathe in a knowingness that healing is in feeling. And so in this moment, we bring into our conscious awareness the places that we might not want to feel, the things that we might not want to think about, the challenges that we've gone through that we want to push away. We bring them forward. We bring them forward and we give thanks. We give thanks for those experiences. We give thanks for those people because they have been moments of awakening, moments that said you can choose differently, moments that have said you can rise, moments that have said, you are more than this. The moments that have said walk away, the moments that have said lift up, the moments that have said change is a good thing. And we just give thanks for those in this moment as we give thanks that they are blessings, eternal blessings. And we give thanks for the moment that said, I am more than this and I choose me. I choose to love me. I choose to honor me. I choose to heal me. I choose to transform me. I choose to step into a new way of being. Oh, how wonderful to know that the blessings flow. And so from this place, we move into a prayer state, a prayerful state, beginning with the gratitude of the blessedness that we are, that God loved us so much, it breathed its life into us, and we moved into form, into manifest form on this planet. How incredible. How incredible to know that right here, where we are, there is a celebration in the universe because it is conspiring for our health, conspiring for our well-being, conspiring for grace and abundance right where we are today. The only thing we have to do is say yes. And so I'm grateful to know that whatever diagnosis has come into the field, whatever challenge, whatever fears, whatever doubts, they are dissipated and dissolved in this moment, leaving space for the joy, for the peace, the abundance, the gratitude for life itself. Because because we are love made manifest. And so I give thanks for that truth. I give thanks for this community. I give thanks for Reverend Cece. I give thanks that right here and right now, the intentionality to stand as a beacon of love has already been fulfilled. And something grand and glorious is happening for every person in this room. And so I just let go. I let go knowing that the word spoken has already been answered and fulfilled before it even came to my conscious awareness. This day is a blessed day. This day is glorious. And I give thanks and I release it. I allow it to be. I let go. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. And so we declare today that we choose ourselves as a spiritual practice and allow it to be. Saying so it is. Amen. Thank you so much. Are we singing now?
We're doing reflection.
Yes, we are.
We are, and I'm staying up here.
Okay.
Even though I don't know the song, I'm staying up here. Okay. Thank you.
Glorious web of life.
this is our time of offering. I asked Reverend Cece if I could be the person to invite you into this today, because I want to tell you how important it is that you have this center. That you have a place where you can come and be loved and seen and nurtured in sickness and in health. That this place has been here for 70 years as a beacon and a place of transformation and healing, and your contributions make a difference. So if you have already your envelope, I invite you to put it over your heart. If not, I invite you to put your hand over your heart as an act, an intentionality to support this community in extraordinary ways. And I ask you to repeat with me the joyous giving affirmation. My heart is open.
My heart is open.
I give from my open heart.
I give from my open heart.
I know that as I give, I am given to.
I know that as I give, I am given to.
And I am grateful.
And I am grateful.
And so it is.
Okay. Yay. Great service. Great service. Now you've been experienced how wonderful she is. If you'd like to have a private session with Reverend Cynthia tomorrow, she has a few slots available. You can sign up at her table that's over there after the service and make an investment in yourself and give yourself a session. Our anniversary celebration is coming up soon, and it's going to be wonderful. On Saturday, September 24th, our licensed practitioners offer a spiritual Saturday where you can come and walk a modified labyrinth, receive prayer, learn about affirmations, bring your pets for a pet blessing, and much more. On Sunday the 25th, our movement spiritual leader, Reverend Dr. Ken Gordon, will be with us. Yay. He'll speak at Sunday service and then join us for a brunch. RSVP is required for the brunch. Please call the office to RSVP. The number's in the bulletin. We have two wonderful classes coming up in September. The first is the prerequisite for all the others, and it's called Beyond Limits. This class will change your life.
Over.
Oh, sorry.
I looked at the pages
It's
I'm
all-
sorry.
Okay, sorry, here we go. There we are. Okay, back on track. And rock your world. The second class, Practical Mysticism, is open to you. If you've taken Foundations or Beyond Limits, sign-up sheets are on the bulletin board. And I believe those are back of there, right?
Yeah.
Now, okay. These classes are where real transformation takes place. So please take the opportunity to give yourself this gift. On Centers for Spiritual Living's World Day of Service, September 10th, we will have two projects, one at the VA and one with Oasis House. Next week, we'll have more details and sign-up sheets. We need 5 to 6 people at the VA on September 10th, so look at your calendars and sign up next week. Social Committee meets today after the service in the community room. And then please take a look at the last page of the bulletin insert and the extra flyer for more information on what's coming up. There's a lot happening in the next couple of months. And please join us for food and fellowship in the Consciousness Cafe after service, and take home some Dorothy Lane bread. That's always good. So if you would like prayer after service, our licensed prayer practitioners are here for you to offer that to you. After the service, just look for the people in this our white or teal prayer shawls and ask for prayer. If you are having a difficult challenge, make an appointment for a full practicing session. If you've not done that, that's really, really awesome to do that, to really get to those belief systems that are inhibiting us from having a great life. Speaking of prayer, every Sunday, a group gathering at 9 a.m. to pray together just before a 9:30 discussion group begins. Join them in the community room at the far end of the hall Sunday at 9 o'clock in the morning. And thanks to everybody who made the morning service possible. Our ushers, greeters, practitioners, gotta go over this page, welcome team, the Consciousness Cafe team, the Higher Mind Band, and you. So please stand for our closing affirmation, and after that, our closing song, Holy Ground.